It's time. Ladies and gentlemen, let's run it.
Back in 2017, nvidia released the GTX 1080 Ti, which, quite frankly, in my opinion, is the best GPU ever released. I personally bought mine around 2018, 2019 when the 20 series were launching and everyone was selling their 1080 Ti's, and I was able to buy one for $400 off of eBay. And at the time, that was a grab for me. I didn't have too much money, and to me, that was a big purchase. And I love my 1080 Ti. My 1080 Ti is probably one of my most favorite things that I own. And it sounds ridiculous, but you gotta understand this GPU has gone through thick and thin with me. I've used it to basically do anything and everything from playing video games to creating content with it. This GPU has basically been my workhorse and has stuck around with me for the better part of, oh fuck, 5 years. God, I fucking feel old. And ever since I've owned it, I really haven't wanted to upgrade it. And that's because of how great of a GPU it is. I mean, this GPU still stacks up to a 3060. And that's a pretty good GPU for what it is, and also for the price of it. For the mere fact that I think you could buy these things for like $200 on eBay, and a 3060 is like new $300 to $400. The GTX 1080 Ti is still a bargain, especially when you take into consideration its speed and especially how much VRAM it has, which is very important nowadays with, well, you know. So why am I making a video about a 6-year-old top-of-the-line card that basically doesn't have any relevance now today? Well, I want to basically make a tribute to this card, but more importantly, honor this card. And that's because, again, this card has been with me for years now, and it's quite old. And some time ago, I noticed that there's been some pitching within my fan. And being a PC gamer, that annoys me. But you might say, "Oh, you know what? Just put on your headset and, you won't hear that." Or better yet, just buy a new GPU. But for me, I care for this card, and I want it to run the best it can. So I went onto eBay and found some replacement fans, and once they came in, I decided as quickly as possible to repair my GPU as best as possible. So I quickly disassembled my PC and took it into my closet where I have a table set up, and usually where I work on my PC parts. Don't ask why this is the case. But additionally to honoring this GPU and even respecting it because of all the hard work it's done for me over the years, I also kind of want to make a statement about old GPUs and keeping around technology. People tend to have a piece of technology and after maybe a couple years, they throw it out and they might get something new. They might, sell it on the used market, which I think they should do. It gives people a chance to buy a GPU for on the cheap. But people just tend to throw out old electronics and not really think about it. And I think we need to be more mindful of how we use and get rid of old electronics. I think, if possible, we should try and repair any and all electronics that we have so that it doesn't, end up in a landfill and just adds on to the already massive amounts of waste that we have every year. And I think that is probably the biggest thing facing the PC or electronic market in general. And there's a lot of current initiatives to be able to make PCs a bit more greener by recycling plastics, but a lot of these initiatives tend to be kind of hollow. Either the company releases a product that is not green whatsoever and is actually just false advertisement, or the process of making that product is actually harmful to the environment, which is very counterproductive to the mission statement of being green. And that's kind of the issue here is Companies make products to make money, but being green isn't exactly something that makes a lot of money or is profitable. So, what tends to happen is companies market to people like you that what they have is something green or something, that's good for nature, and that they use all these processes or all these new technologies to better help the environment, when in actuality, they're pretty much doing nothing, and all they're doing is selling you a lie so that you can buy it so that they can make more money. So it becomes a question of what can you do? Well, for one, buy used GPUs. And if you have a GPU, it's probably good. If you have something that's like, say, a Pascal 10 series or an RX 480 or 580, it'll probably be good for another, year or two. I definitely know I'm going to be getting another 2 years out of my GPU. Hopefully, there's, other parts don't go out, but, crossing my fingers on that one. And don't worry about the GPU being a mining card. It's perfectly fine, and it'll run probably about the same as a new or used GPU of the same caliber. And it's actually probably a good thing that you buy a mining GPU, because for one, there's a fuck ton of them out there. A lot of GPUs after the big crash were dumped onto the market, and it's good that they're put into hands that people, that want them, that need them for gaming with friends, or, just enjoying them for what they are. It's also a good thing that you're getting it out of the world of cryptocurrency, because cryptocurrency is, believe it or not, very bad for the environment based on just how much power it draws. So you're repurposing something that was damaging the environment to playing with your friends and using it to its full extent, instead of it just going to a landfill. With that being said, I'm glad I kept my 1080 Ti around. It's helped me through the best of times and the worst of times, for playing with friends, or even just staying up until 5 a.m. in the morning, even though it's a school night, and playing Hoi 4 or Civilization 5, and, just that one more turn. That one more turn. So I hope you enjoy the video. This is definitely a lot more drastic than what I do. I just wanted to share something that I'm very passionate about, and that's PCs, and specifically my 1080 Ti. When this GPU does eventually go, because I will want something more powerful. I'm framing it. Not even joking. I will fucking find a way to take that GPU and stick it to a wall. I don't care if it looks ugly or if it looks so out of place. This thing means so much to me, and I want it to give the respect that this GPU honestly deserves. So, thank you for watching, and have a nice day, and hopefully you've learned something.